Oh, yeah. That link and pin were fucked. So I'm gonna fucking V this out and wind it back in.
This tensioner came with a brand new grease zerk, and it's fucked. Nice. That never ends. I knew I needed a keeper for this master link. I'm looking for the link, and I noticed this one. Just walking like a motherfucker. So I better V that out, weld it up too. Alright, so I got the track on, tensioned up, welded my access window back in. I wasn't gonna fuck around trying to push that fucked up pin in, so I just cleaned it up, welded it in there, it ain't gonna go anywhere. Replaced the missing keeper, our other master link. Found another loose pin, got it welded up. New pin stop plate for the H-link. There's a new one on the other side for the thumb. New bolts that were missing are the wrong size. I've got new hoses that are gonna go to the grease zerks on the arm and run up and down so it can be greased down low instead of crawling up on a ladder. One issue is on the left track. I noticed all the track frame bolts are loose. We're gonna look into it tomorrow. I did put a big cheater in the socket on these, and I couldn't get any of them to move. They've been loose a long time, and the bolts are seized. And I can tell you from experience, when they feel the way that they do right now, usually you either snap them off in the track frame, or you gall the threads so fucking bad that it just fucks them all up. So if these don't want to move tomorrow, I'm going to tell him to roll with it for now. Because if we've got this many bolts that are going to snap or gall the threads, you're better off cutting the head of the bolt off on all of them, getting up away from the track frame, and then you can get in there and do the repairs you need to do instead of trying to work down through a hole. That's usually what happens when these get left loose. They either get seized or the track frame sits there and beats them around, and it just hammers the threads down in the frame. And most of them, it's damn near impossible to get in there and heat them like you need to. Some of them you can come up from underneath and kind of get at them, but it's damn near hopeless. So like I said, if that's the case, you're better off just getting up and away from it and then giving yourself access to work. So let's see what's going on with our hydraulics. So check and adjust pump angle sensors, because this has a mistrack. Usually that's what it is. So we got 2 control solenoids, 2 angle sensors, and 2 delivery pressure sensors. These guys tell the valve control what displacement the pumps are at. These to max displacement. See how they're off? They should match. So those being off will cause a mistrack. That is our spec. And these sensors is how you can actually fool the machine. So if you dial them below spec, the controller thinks that it's putting out less displacement than what it actually is. It'll make the machine faster, but it will put more load on the engine. I'm actually going to set these a little above spec, and what that'll do is slow the machine down. And the reason being, it's got this giant fucking arm on there. They really don't need to be getting crazy with it. So these are really sensitive sensors. I mean, just barely touching them, you'll see a reading change. And that top one's got a lot of movement with no change. So we've either got a bad sensor, or what happens is there are little spring clips that the shaft goes into. And if those spring clips get worn out, it makes play on the shaft. Yeah, that's the spring clip. So there's the old one. That's what this should look like.
It's like a $5 card, but it'll fuck them things all up. That dude goes in there. That's way better. Then what I do is I go back to normal control. I go back into max displacement again and make sure my readings are still the same. As far as engine speed, this engine is a replacement. It was a running takeout. And I know that whoever did it didn't set up the governor linkage and the EC motor linkage. So I'll get this all in adjustment.
RPM is good. This thing already sounds way better when you're doing hydraulic functions. So what I ended up finding was when they ran the auxiliary plumbing to operate the thumb, they actually tapped off with the wrong spool on the main control valve. So electrically, there's nothing on the machine I can do that will make it work to stroke the pump set for the thumb. So what I ended up having to do is I made a Y harness with diodes that runs off of the control solenoids for the thumb, and they send a signal wire back to stroke up the pump. So this thing wasn't right from day one. And when I first started repairing the wiring going to the solenoids for the thumb, there was some old wires and shit that had been diked off of there, and I'm sure that's what they had going on. They had wires running back to the pump. Currently there's no oil pressure sensor, so there's no low oil pressure warning. So we're gonna add a sensor for that. So whoever installed this engine, there's 2 overheat switches and a coolant temp sensor, and there's 4 wires that go to them. All 4 of them were in the wrong spot. Like, fucking hell, man. Wiring for the coolant temperature is all fixed. And then there is the travel motor guards. So these were welded on at some point, and somebody removed them to repair that case drain hose. There are broken bolts, broken mounting flanges, the bent. So I'll get these broken bolts out, make some new mounting flanges, get these so they can bolt on again.
That will work.
I'm gonna get this back across, grab that 400, do a quick hydraulic tune-up, and then I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Hopefully beat the rain. I was crossing the creek and that fucker popped up about halfway out of there and started hissing really bad. I thought I blew a fucking hose. I know you boys think you've seen some shit, but you ever seen somebody manage to inner shield a chrome stack on a rotten fucking muffler? Skills. I'm gonna take this little Diglett for a ride.